All I can go off of is what people say. Y'all voted the last time that we had a conversation about Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson just released a video and it said Larry Elder and Dwayne Wade must be stopped. Y'all voted. Y'all voted literally 51% to 49% that you want me to continue to address different things that Dr. Umar Johnson says objectively. All right. Dr. Umar just recently released a video and he said Dwayne Wade and Larry Elder must be stopped. Now, my initial reaction to it, because I have not watched the video, my initial reaction to it, and we got to get to the money. We got to get into the fact that people are complaining about going broke. We got to go into the UAW then authorizing a strike, and I was able to source and get more information, especially with regard to a lot of these unionized casinos, and they now trying to strike. We're going to get to that, right? But we got to get to Dr. Umar's perspective because my initial reaction was that I'm 50-50 on this. I'm 50-50 just by seeing the title. All right. So make sure y'all get into the Teach Hanley 30% off the first order plus a free gift. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and then let's get into what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say about this whole situation about Larry Elder and Dwayne Wade.
The Democratic Party.
And I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly.
Wants Dwayne Wade to run for office. What do I think about that? I believe they want Dwayne Wade to run for office so he can recapture some votes for the Democratic Party plantation. They want Dwayne Wade to run for office so he can recapture some of the runaway Democratic Party plantation slaves and bring them back to Massa Biden. Bring them back to Massa Biden. Bring them back to Overseer Kamala. They want Dwayne Wade to run for office so he can catch some of the runaway slaves from the Democratic Party plantation who are not voting next November. They also want Dwayne Wade so him and Gabrielle can parade Zaya around. They want Dwayne Wade to bring Zaya on the campaign trail so they can continue to transgenderize black boys and girls. They want to continue to transgenderize black boys and girls.
I can see that. Shout out to Rod. Shout out to all of the super chats. I'm going to be reading those shortly. I can see that. I can absolutely see it. And so every single take that I've seen Umar Johnson have with regard to Dwayne Wade, I absolutely agree with. I don't think that Dr. Umar Johnson at no point have I ever seen Dr. Umar Johnson say anything that he said about Dwayne Wade. And I think that he's been wrong. I don't think that he's been off, not even a little bit, when it comes to his assessment of Dwayne Wade. And this is what I'm talking about being objective. I may not necessarily care about Dr. Umar's business practices or how it is that he panders to women or what it is that he says about men being responsible for what's happening as far as women making their own choices and choosing wrong. But I'm objective enough to also take each individual point that he says and assess accordingly. I think that he's dead spot on when he's talking about Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is getting more visibility than he's ever gotten as a player today. We have never heard Dwayne Wade's name in more conversations than we have today. Partially because, of course, we know what's going on with his kid. But the other part of the conversation is that Dwayne Wade somehow, in a way, parades around and celebrates it himself. Even when nobody asks him about it, he celebrates it. I looked at the Hall of Fame. I think he just recently went into the Hall of Fame, and he had that cutoff sleeve, dress-up vest on, and I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's not fashionable. He's not a fashion icon. I just don't get it. I don't understand why he's doing it, but it all starts to make sense based off of what Umar Johnson is communicating, because it does. One of the things that politicians that I've had conversations with, and I don't say no names all the time, but based off of what's being communicated to me, is that one of the things that politicians in the Democratic Party has done is they've went after a completely separate group, and that started with the Obama administration in order to tie them back to the Democratic plantation, as Dr. Umar Johnson communicates, right? And what they've done is they've hijacked the civil rights movement and the black movement and the feminism movement, and now they've turned it into the alphabet community movement in order to tie an entirely new group of people so that they can continue to stay in power and maintain relevancy, even though they don't necessarily have anything to run on policy-wise now, right? And so that started with the Obama administration. And even when you see the Obama administration talking today and the things that they write their open letters for and what they champion, they don't champion and they don't write about the Affordable Care Act. They don't write about healthcare coverage. They don't write about any of the milestone moments that they're allegedly were a part of during their reign in office. They write about and they talk about everything with related to sexuality. And so to use a Dwyane Wade in this situation in order to continue to empower and push forward that agenda, because you have to understand that there's always an ulterior motive, especially when you're talking about politics, for people to then have you, on the campaign trail or at the forefront of whatever it is that they're talking about. I think that Dr. Umar Johnson is 100% correct with regard to Dwyane Wade. Let me continue to play this.
I love my brother Dwayne Wade. He was one of my favorite players. But he has been drafted and he is now part of the agenda. He is part of the global African depopulation agenda. First they gave him a TV show, now they want to give him public office.
Why would they? And that's true, they did give him a TV show. But let me ask you a question. Dwyane Wade doesn't even communicate that well as far as being able to talk about anything in particular. I'm not even sure if TNT, when he appeared on there or when he retired, that anybody has ever offered Dwyane Wade a position, right? Dwyane Wade, and I'm not saying that he's stupid or anything like that, because obviously he can communicate well enough to actually be able to talk and express his thoughts, but he's not entertaining. Nobody's going to be watching a show in order to be able to see Dwyane Wade. We've never even seen a commercial. He hasn't even been able to sell shoes, but somehow, some way they've given him a TV show. I think that he's spot on. I think that he's 100% spot on.
Dwyane Wade, don't end up on my Mount Rushmore for coons. Dwyane Wade, don't end up on my Mount Rushmore. I
don't understand how he's not already on a Mount Rushmore. I think that Dwyane Wade, and this is just my personal opinion, Dwyane Wade is quite possibly one of the most disappointing public figures that I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's unfortunate because, I'm a basketball fan. I'm a basketball fanatic. And he was one of my favorite guards/forwards of all time, even though his knees, and I think that injury hobbled him and prevented him from being even greater than he would have been. He was one of my favorite people of all time. But the minute that we start hearing how these people think and we start hearing what it is that they're doing and their agenda and how it is that they're operating within their household, and they start pushing that agenda on you, it is incredibly disappointing. And it's amazing how we extend this level of grace over into people just because they were great at what it is that they did from a basketball perspective. But we can see him champion the things that's absolutely the worst for our community, and he's not already on your Mount Rushmore. He should be. He absolutely should be. He's certainly on my Mount Rushmore of people that's the worst for the community and society.
make room for Larry Elder. After hearing his Breakfast Club comments, I think I gotta switch out Jesse Lee Peterson for Larry Elder. I think Larry Elder replaces Jesse Lee Peterson on the King Kong consciousness Mount Rushmore of coons. I think Larry Elder replaces Jesse Lee on the King Kong consciousness Mount Rushmore of coons.
Who is he dodging? Where is he at? Is he in the library? Is he in a restaurant? Is he in the airport? Why is he talking so low, and why he keep looking around hoping that somebody don't hear what it is that he says? I'm just curious.
But Dwyane Wade, I hope he's not going to allow himself to be another Barack Obama. I hope my brother Dwyane Wade is going to come to his senses and not allow himself to be used as another Barack Obama?
Barack Obama, it's so difficult to even think about Barack Obama, honestly. I believe that Barack Obama, it's hard to say because he's right up there with Bill Clinton. Because Bill Clinton was one of the presidents that was one of the architects of the housing crisis, and we don't give him enough credit for it. Bill Clinton was one of the architects of more men being locked up than any time in history. Bill Clinton did some of the most egregious things, and you loved him for it. You absolutely loved him for it. And not only that, it's funny because I don't necessarily agree with every single thing that anybody does, including Trump. Even though Trump is one of my favorite politicians of all time, I don't agree with anything that anybody does 100%. But it's funny because Bill Clinton did some of the most egregious things as far as a public figure and presenting himself as a person worthy of office. Some of the most egregious things that we've ever seen in our history. I mean, the dude was getting head and he lied about it inside of the presidential Oval Office. Now, I'm not necessarily holding him accountable for getting head in the Oval Office. I'm saying that when you compare him over into a Trump, right? One of the most disrespectful, egregious people, and he didn't even get head from a baddie. He just got head from one that was just available. Made a chick famous for getting head. Bill Clinton is very, very much just as much of a feminist and is a part of the slut walk and a part of all of the things that we see, the no body shaming nowadays, because he made Monica Lewinsky the poster girl for a come up. No point intended, for a come up, right? Bill Clinton, Barack Obama is right up there with Bill Clinton, and the youngest Bush, the son, not the daddy. We've had some very, very, very bad politicians in our lifetime. We've had some very, very bad politicians in our lifetime. But I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories and anything like that. But Barack Obama is up there. I mean, and he's up there. One of the reasons that he's up there for me is because he tricked y'all. He really did pull a rope of dope. He pulled the rug from under y'all. And he sold y'all with his ability to communicate and be articulate and persuasive. And he walked a certain type of way. He wore the dad jeans. He was America's dad and all of this other type of stuff. And he got y'all at the perfect time during the 2008 crisis when you were the most under duress. And he was easily able to sell y'all on his charisma. And he gave y'all the worst thing that could ever happen for you and your family long term. And so he's right up there. But let's continue.
Who going to the beach with Big Papa on Sunday? That's all I want to know. Is Pan-Africanism a perish?
Jesus Christ. This dude calling himself Big Papa.
Is Garveyism a get back? FDMG renovations is done. FDMG community grand opening coming soon. I'm sweating because y'all be sweating me. I'm sweating because y'all be sweating me, brothers and sisters. I'm in the Caribbean Sea right now. I'm also working on the King Kong Consciousness Conference. We got the King Kong Consciousness keynote, King Kong Consciousness cookies, King Kong Consciousness campus.
Did he say the King Kong Consciousness cookies? Did he just say that we got King Kong Consciousness cookies coming? Just when I start to agree with him, he lose me. Just when I start to agree with him, he lose me. This dude just said we got King Kong Consciousness cookies. This dude's selling King Kong Consciousness merch now. Jesus Christ.
King Kong Consciousness cruise. Conscious Singles Convention coming up. Conscious Singles Convention coming up. Stop worrying about me and Suki Hana. That's none of your business. Stop worrying about me and Suki Hana. That's none of your business. Stop worrying about me and Suki Hana. That's none of your business. We live and direct St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. We live and direct St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. Yes, sir. Dr. Umar, peace, good brother. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. I'm speaking tomorrow. Agricultural Fairground, 3 o'clock. Come on through. Yes, sir. It's the Ethiopian World Federation celebration. Appreciate that, King. Appreciate that. I need a beach team. Who going to the beach? No fellas. No fellas. Only queens. Nobody's going to the beach with me with masculine.
Is Dr. Umar Johnson like the conscious version of Derek Jackson? I'm just asking for a friend. Somebody just text me and just asked me. They asked me to ask y'all so that we can get a better understanding of what's going on. Is Dr. Umar Johnson the Derek Jackson version of, or the conscious version of Derek Jackson? Good grief! I thought he was going to talk about Larry Elder.
Energy, only queens, biologically born, beautiful, black, big booty. I'm sorry, let me take that back. It's consciousness over cookies. It's politics over punani. It's revolution over romance. It's institutions over intimacy. Any sisters want to go to the beach for a nice platonic dip? Any sisters want to go to the beach in St. Croix Sunday for a nice platonic dip? We're my Cameroonian Africans. I'm pulling up in Cameroon, September 21st to the 25th. We're my Cameroonian Africans. I'm pulling up. No fellas. I don't need no fellas at the beach. What I need fellas at the beach for? I need butter almond, butter pecan at the beach. I need fudge. I need chocolate. I need African vanilla, African lemonade. I need nutmeg. I need cinnamon. I need sweet brown sugar. I need pistachio. I need sweet peanut butter. I need buttercream. I don't need no fellas at the beach. Nothing but queens with the king. Any of my American African sisters want to fly in for the beach Sunday?
Come on, man. Is he going to talk about Larry Elder or what? Good Jesus Christ. I'm trying to get to this junk. Good God.
A private dip in the water. Lay back and let me read some philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey to you on the beach. Just
Dr. Umar Johnson said he going to take your girl. If you let your baby mama enroll in this nigga's school, he gonna take your girl. He gonna be macking on your baby mama. Don't sleep. See, y'all so focused on Derek Jackson because Derek Jackson is a Sith Lord when it comes to the simp game. Derek Jackson is a Sith Lord. I'm telling you, and I have no hate for Derek Jackson anymore. I've completely removed any kind of hate whatsoever. He is Palpatine. Is Dr. Umar Johnson really Palpatine? Is Dr. Umar Johnson also a Sith Lord? Look, however these dudes is finessing y'all women out of y'all bag and out of y'all panties, I don't have no hate for it. So if he's using consciousness in order to pimp your baby mama that's going to be bringing her kid over to his yet-to-be open school, what do I have to say about it? Don't let your girl out around Dr. Umar Johnson. He looking for butter pecan, cinnamon, intimacy over incense or whatever the hell he just said. I don't know what he said, man.
lay back and chill, my sister, and let me read some philosophy and opinions of the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey to you on the beach while we bathe under the black August sun, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes. Ain't no thirst over here, King. The menu stay filled over here, my brother. Unlike you, the menu stay filled over here. I got everything on the menu. Full-figured fudge to slim, thick butter pecan. I got everything on the menu, from 5'5" thick in the thighs, nutmeg, to a 5'9" slim, thick peanut butter. The whole menu full. I got a buffet waiting, brother. You understand? This King Kong you talking to. This King Kong. But we here. Let's get focused. Let's get focused. Let's get focused. Let's get focused, brothers and sisters.
Now he gonna bring y'all back into the consciousness and talk about Dr. Larry Elder.
Let's get focused. Hit the Cash App for Black August, $ FDMG School. KTO Pack app.
Did this dude just say hit the Cash App? Did he just say hit the Cash App? Let me guess, all of the ladies hit the Cash App, right?
Proton.me. That's how you find out about the private Brussels, Belgium meet and greet Power Lecture, Sunday, September the 3rd. Most requested black scholar of all time. I think I'm the most requested black scholar of all time. Who else has my miles? Who else has my requests? Who else has speaking in as many venues as me globally? I think I'm.
Now, I know y'all talk about me a lot of times, and y'all say Anton always like to big up and celebrate himself and talk about how awesome he is and his relationship and how it is that he got things together and his cars and his money and all of that. Man, if y'all don't start getting on him about what it is that he spent 90% of this of this video, and he's supposed to be talking about Larry Elder. And I'm gonna be reading the super chat shortly. I appreciate y'all. He's supposed to be talking about Larry Elder, and I didn't forgot who the other person was that he was talking. Oh, Dwayne Wade, Larry Elder, and Dwayne Wade. And 90% of everything that I've seen right now has all been about how awesome he is. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't tripping about it. Talk about it. He just said, let's get focused. I don't want to hear nothing else about me. I don't want to hear nothing else about me because Dr. Umar Johnson is all about him. And that's not a bad thing. Do your thing. Pimp on them hoes then, dog. Go get your bag.
The most requested of all time. I think I'm the most requested of all time. Where my Australia Africans at? Where my Australia? I'm finally coming to Australia. King Kong consciousness is finally coming to Australia. June 21st, Sydney, Australia. June 28th, Melbourne, Australia. The final continent will be conquered. Ifa Tunde's final continent will be conquered. Sydney, Australia, June 21st. Melbourne, Australia, June 28th. I'm coming to the land down under. Speak on every continent by invitation. Oh, peace, my brother. I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico, brothers and sisters. I gotta stop playing these games, man. Stop playing these games as King Kong. Dominican Republic, a boat to the Bahamas. We got EWF celebration. Yes, sir. Yes.
I can't. He ain't even talking about nothing. He ain't say nothing about Larry Elder. What is it that they disagree with when it comes to Larry Elder?
But I want to say black people better get organized. We better wake up and we better get organized. Sharing information is useless without organization. The most effective thing we can do right now is to organize ourselves so we can use our power to protect our people. The most effective thing we can do right now is to organize ourselves so we can use our power to protect our people. We are disorganized, we are unprepared, and we are in a very dangerous position, being as disorganizationally weak as we are. I don't care about your religion. It's not going to save.
I'm done, man. I'm done, bro. I'm 100% done with this dude. I just can't, man. Every single time he wrote me in, and I think that he's going to say something compelling that we'll have to be able to break down and talk about, and he just goes all the way off the reservation, and it's stupid. It's absolutely dumb.